Hello friends, in this video we will be talking about Council of Ministers. Clear? So first of all, Council of Ministers, the provision is there for the Union as well as for the states. So we have got the Union Council of Ministers, as you can see here, which is provided under Article number 74 of the Constitution. And on the other hand, we have also got State Council of Ministers for various states. The provision is provided under article number 163. Clear? So these two are the important articles over here where the provision for Council of Ministers is provided for the Union and for the states respectively. Now let us see Article 74. What is mentioned? There shall be a Council of Ministers. So we can see here the word shall is used over here. So there shall be a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at the head. Clear? So Council of Ministers, that is the Union Council of Ministers, is headed by the Prime Minister of India, which is to aid and advise the President, who shall in the exercise of his functions act in accordance with such advice. Clear? So we can see clearly over here the provision for Council of Ministers is mentioned under article number 74, which provides for the COM in short. Now talking about the Union Council of Ministers, the Union Council of Ministers, they are the one who exercises the executive authority in the Republic of India. Clear? So they are the body, we can say, who are responsible for the executive authority in India. Clear? Now, among the Council of Ministers, we have got a smaller body, that is the smaller executive body called the Union Cabinet. Union Cabinet is a, you can say, a smaller executive body within the Council of Ministers, which is considered as the supreme decision making body of India. Clear? Now, who are members of the Union Cabinet? Let's see in the third point over here. Only the Prime Minister and the ministers of the rank of Cabinet Minister are members of the Union Cabinet. In other words, apart from the Prime Minister, only few senior ministers are part of the cabinet who are very trusted and loyal to the Prime Minister. Talking about the maximum strength of the Union Council of Ministers, clear? Now, according to the article number 75, clause 1A, now this article was added, you should take note of it. It was added by the 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003, whereby this clause 1A was added to article number 75, and it is mentioned in this article that the total number of ministers in the Council of Ministers shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of the Lok Sabha. Okay, so the maximum strength of Union Council of Ministers is 15% of Lok Sabha. Very important question. Clear? And the provision is mentioned under article number 75, clause 1A, which was added by the 91st Amendment of 2003. Now let us see what does Council of Ministers consist of. Clear? They consist of various ministers and various ranks are given over here. First of all, the Council of Ministers is headed by the Prime Minister. Clear? Next in rank we have got the Cabinet Ministers. Now as we have already discussed earlier, the Cabinet Ministers are the senior most ministers who are and it is headed by the PM, and they are the most loyal and trusted members of by the Prime Minister, and they are the ones who decide the policies of the Council of Minister. So they are the utmost important. Next in rank we have got Minister of State. Now Minister of State is second in rank to the Cabinet Ministers. Clear? They are the ones who normally do not participate in the cabinet meetings, but if they are invited for the cabinet meetings, only then they attend the meetings. Clear? They don't hold any independent portfolios like the cabinet ministers. They hold the independent portfolios. Clear? But on the other hand, the Minister of State, that is MOS, they only hold departments within the various ministries. Please take note of that. Then next in rank we have got Minister of State Independent Charge. Now these are the ministers who are given independent charge of certain portfolios which may not be very significant in nature, but however they are given to some of the ministers as political sops, we can say. Clear? And they are directly answerable to the Prime Minister. Then last we have got deputy ministers, which is very rarely seen. The deputy ministers are the ones who are the deputies to the Prime Minister, Cabinet Minister, MOS and MOSIC. Clear? So they are the deputies to the following ministers. Clear? And they never hold any ministry, nor are they accountable for any kind of work in the government. Now see some important points over here. A minister is appointed by the president on the advice of the prime minister. Now all the ministers are appointed by the president. So president is the appointing authority. Clear? However, the president only appoints those members and ministers whom the PM recommends. So it's only on the recommendation of the prime minister that the president appoints a certain person as a minister. Clear? That particular one more point is noted over here. The person who is appointed as a minister need not be an MP. So it is not compulsory for a member to be appointed as a minister to be a member of parliament. Next we have Council of Ministers are responsible collectively to the Lok Sabha. Very important point. Now it must be noted over here that Council of Ministers, they act as a team. One and each and every one are liable for each other's acts. It is said that they swim and they sink together. Clear? So they are responsible collectively to the Lok Sabha. Clear? Next, the Council of Ministers resign collectively upon losing confidence of Lok Sabha. So if the Council of Ministers loses the confidence of the Lok Sabha, then they will have to resign collectively. It means the government will fall. Next government will come in place. Clear? Then we have regarding, it talks about the imposition of national emergency, which is mentioned under article number 352. It says here that all the union cabinet ministers or the union cabinet members shall submit in writing to the president to propose a proclamation of emergency by the president under article number 352. Clear? So it says over here that if national emergency is to be imposed, the president can only do so if he receives in writing regarding the imposition of national emergency by all union cabinet members. Clear? And this provision was added by the 44th amendment of 1978. Clear? Last we have ministers must be members of parliament. See, it's simply this particular point. Let us relate the first point and the last point. First point, what we have seen, that a minister is appointed by the president, and I had told right now that a person need not be a member of parliament to become a minister. Clear? However, there is a point to be noted here that any person can be appointed as a minister. Clear? But for maximum of 6 months if he or she is not a member of parliament. To continue beyond 6 months, they will have to become a member of parliament. Clear? Now, similarly, we have got the Council of Ministers in the states. Now, every Indian state is governed by its Council of Ministers with rules and procedures which are similar to the Union Council of Ministers. So, it is similar to the Union Council of Ministers, and the provision for the State Council of Ministers is provided under Article number 163, which is headed by the Chief Minister of the state. Again, talking about the maximum strength of the Council of Ministers in the states, it is 15% of state legislative assembly mentioned under article number 164 clause 1a, and again this clause 1a, that is 164 clause 1a, was added by the 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003. Clear? This video was useful to you. If you like the video, Please do like and subscribe to the channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.